Hey everyone! Recently in my Telegram channel, I posted about what a bot frontliner is and how to deal with it. Actually, the post received a lot of response, and these bots are indeed a big problem in the DeFi space. In today's video, I will explain how this works and provide guidance on handling these bots that you may come across. Enjoy the show! By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my Telegram channel, I suggest you take a look. The link is below the video. There I provide analysis on projects and show my DeFi deals. Well, let's get down to business right away. So what is bot frontrunner? This here's a bot that arbitrates transactions for users who be buying and selling different tokens through decentralized exchanges. These bots generate profits by surpassing the transaction speed of users who are unaware of how to correctly configure slippage on their transactions. And naturally, when an individual purchases a specific token, for instance using 1 Ether, the bot intervenes before them and makes the purchase before anyone else. After that, the user's transaction is processed and the bot kind of unloads from him and takes back its profile. Alright, let's take a visual look at how these bots work and what to pay attention to. I opened a token on the Ethereum network called BAM, and even from the graphics it's clear that there's a bot involved, like the bot latched onto this token. Why? Because he possesses these viral candles, you see, wicks, yes, these particular ones, commonly referred to as big shadows on the candles. This occurs due to the bot's fast buying and immediate selling at a large volume. And throughout the schedule we can see these candles right here, indicating the bot's active trading strategy. Just for your information, this token has no fees for buying and selling. And these bots, they attach themselves to tokens with no fees in the majority of cases. It's all because these bots make frequent transactions, and naturally, when there's no commission, they don't pay anything for this swap. That's why you don't see these bots as often in tokens with a 3 to 5% commission. Also, this bot is visible in the transactions. We can scroll down and here you see the red icons. Observe how this works. Bought 109 times and sold 108 times and made a profit, which means the difference is 2.7 Ether, which means the token hasn't even been around for a day yet, a young token, and the bot has already earned almost $6,000. And pay attention to how this bot earns money. That is, we see a bot transaction for 5.3 Ether for sale, and after that there is immediately a sale by a regular user for 0.5 Ether. So the bot saw that the user is making a transaction and sold ahead of him. So like the user, when he sells, when his transaction goes through, he's gonna get way less profit. And right after that, the bot immediately backs off. Also, we can find other transactions. For example, look, when he buys, that is, he sees that a large purchase of almost 2 Ether is taking place. Naturally, when the user falls for it, the token price kind of goes up, and the bot jumps ahead of him, buys at 2.8 Ether, and when the user is already making the purchase, that is, when his transaction is confirmed, he buys at an inflated price and the bot instantly sells against him. He just bought at 2.85 Ether and is selling at 2.98 Ether. And he earns 0.14 Ether for one transaction. That's exactly why these bots are very unpleasant for users. And when you make a token purchase, you can actually be outsmarted by such a bot and end up buying the token at a much higher price. This is nonsense. Sometimes the bot can purchase 100 Ethers in front of the user, and the price for the user will already be x10. You're buying for $100 expecting the coin to increase 3 times, making a profit when you sell. But it turns out that you buy for $100, but a bot comes in front of you, for example, for 100 Ethers, and you buy at an inflated price. For example, the price increases x10 due to the purchase of the bot. And you're already buying, you see in your tokens, not for $100 but for $10. And the bot immediately crashes the price, so it turns out that the price just jumped in the moment, but in reality it hasn't changed. And you're sitting in a slump at 10x. You gotta admit, it's not pleasant. Naturally, these bots are not only unpleasant for users, but also for the token itself, because it eats away at the token's liquidity. So it's like slowly sucking money out of him. But there is also a small plus to these bots, because they kind of boost the trading volume, and due to the fact that the token gains a large trading volume, often the token gets into various trends. You likely have a question, so what do you do? How do you combat these bots? Actually, it's quite simple. You just need to know how to set the slippage correctly, in other words, the slippage. I talk about how to buy tokens in other videos on my channel, so if you don't know how to do it yet, I recommend going to the channel and checking it out. Let's now determine how to correctly set the slip. So, if we are discussing a token with no fees, for instance, we were recently watching Bambi in each other's company, I see that he has a 0% tax on purchase and sale. In that case, I need to set the lead page at around 5%. For instance, in the event that I purchase this token, there is this small technique present. I will simply establish a 5% fee, and under those circumstances, it is highly probable that my transaction will not be susceptible to front running. But there's another side of the coin, that is, when you buy a token and you experience low slippage, for example, you're afraid of bots and you set a 3% buffer, transactions often fail, especially on the airwaves. So basically there's expensive gas on the network, and even if your transaction doesn't go through, you still end up paying the fee, you know? Accordingly, it's unpleasant paying again, so I'll take extra. Generally, it's better to put 2 to 3%, of course. About 2 to 3% higher, than the token's commission, but sometimes that's not enough and the transaction just doesn't go through. Therefore, it is recommended to set it at approximately 5 to 7% for tokens that have zero commission in order to achieve the best outcome. For tokens with a 5% fee, I usually set a slippage of 7 to 8%, and the transactions go through without any issues and I don't get caught by the bot. Let's just sum it up. If you're buying any token and you see, for example, zero commission, you're putting a slippage of around 5%, from 3 to 5. If you're buying a token with a fee like 5%, set the slippage to around 7 to 8%. If you see that your transaction is not going through, it means that the slippage is not high enough and you can gradually increase it by 1–2%. Don't increase it by 5 right away, because your transaction, again, if you set too high of a slippage, can be arbitraged by a bot just like that. Currently, you are aware of how to set up smooth slipping, and I have the hope that your transactions will not be vulnerable to attacks from those bots. I believe many entrepreneurial individuals may be thinking, what if we create such a bot and not have any concerns about it? Yeah, why analyze tokens? It's simpler to exploit transactions and that's all. Money button. Indeed, yes, these bots do generate a substantial amount of money, but believe me, developing such a bot is also quite expensive. And furthermore, even if you manage to create such a bot, there is no assurance that other bots, particularly the leading bots that already have control over the market, won't undermine your bot. I'm gonna show you a bot right now that totally dominates this market. Actually, there aren't many of these bots, and most of the time you'll come across this wallet, which ends in E13. And they call this bot a frontrunner Jared. I don't know why Jared. Well, just someone who's into the DeFi sphere. They nicknamed him that among themselves. So these automated bots, even if you make your own, there is no guarantee that this bot won't be dissing or criticizing your bot in some way. I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but this is a tough task, so you better see for yourself. In addition, it is worth mentioning that administrators often blacklist such bots, which means that once a bot purchases a token, it becomes unable to sell it. And accordingly, it's just a loss of the deposit. Well, of course, whoever knows how to get around it, but still. So essentially, it ended up being a fairly brief, but I believe informative video. I hope at this moment your transactions will not be susceptible to bot attacks, that you will not be losing your money. Thanks all for watching, hope this video helped. As always, I'll appreciate your like under the video. Thanks. And don't be shy, write your questions in the comments. Maybe you have some wishes, some videos you would like to see more often on the channel. You can also leave your wishes in the comments. And we're not saying goodbye to you. See you soon. See you in the next videos.